2020 seems to be the year of guitars that don't quite fit Sean's aesthetics. First we had the Tiger Stripe Kramer, and now we have purple tie-dye Volas. What's going on, friends? It's your good pal SeanPierceJohnson here, back again in the studio, this time taking a look at the OZ DSE model from my new friends at Vola Guitars. I have really come to love this guitar for one simple reason. It combines a lot of the modern features of modern guitars that I love to help with playability and versatility, but it's very much rooted in an old school mentality of construction and instrument feel that really speaks to a lot of the more vintage styled instruments and specifications that I tend to like to have on my guitars. We'll go into more detail as we dive into the specs and the sounds, so let's quit yakking and just talk about what makes this guitar what it is. Unlike most Strats or Super Strat styled guitars that go for alder, ash, or even basswood for their bodies, the core of this guitar is made of mahogany. So for a Les Paul and Gibson fan like myself, that's a very nice home base to get started out with. But they do pair it up with an ash top, so you get that really cool grain pop. But you also get a little bit of the snap back to the tone. You get nice chunk and nice heft, but you're not gonna lack for clarity with this guitar. The neck is one piece of roasted maple, and I loves me a roasted maple neck, with a reverse headstock up at the top, which some people don't like. I happen to like. 6 inline locking tuners for quick string changes, and a very straight string pull, which helps a lot with tuning stability. 22 frets on a 25.5-inch scale neck with a 12-inch fingerboard radius mean that this is a fast player. Whether you're playing open position chords, higher voiced chords, leads up at the top of the neck, or somewhere in the middle, every note is going to ring out exactly like it should. But what makes this neck really great for me, and where I feel like I really bond with this modern Super Strat idea, is that instead of the thinner neck that most of the modern Super Strat guitars tend to use, Vola has elected to use a sort of medium C-shaped neck. It definitely has more of a late 50s, early 60s kind of vibe to it, so it fits the contour between your thumb and index finger much more nicely than, say, a paper-thin neck where you're constantly in that classical position of playing. You can really grab onto this thing so that when you really want to do some bends, you can really do them. Moving down to the electronics, we have a full complement of Vola-designed pickups in HSS configuration. That's humbucker single coil, for those of you who don't know the acronym. The bridge humbucker, very nice, very mean sounding, also has a little switch right here between the master volume and the master tone control to split or tap into single coil mode. So not only are you getting that ferocious bridge humbucker, if you really want those accurate stratty tones, you can go ahead, split it, and you have essentially 3 single coil pickups. 5-way blade selector, very, very nice. And of course, a clear pick guard so you don't miss out on this awesome finish. And then down here, we've got ourselves a vibrato, a whammy bar, not a tremolo bar, and it's a Goto system. And it actually does stay in tune fairly well. There is a little bit of a curve that you will need to get to and a little bit of a quirk, but I don't find myself wanting to overwork this system. It does lend a nice warble to some held out chords for just some extra vocal quality, and it's just nice to have a whammy bar on a guitar right now. I don't really have many in the collection, so getting to play with a whammy bar is a real treat for me. Moving to the back of the guitar, we see the unfinished mahogany, very nice hue of the wood, a 4-screw bolt-on neck, cavity cover for the whammy bar springs, which actually don't ring out nearly as much as you would think. It doesn't get in the way of what you're playing. And then finally, your electronics control cavity. Your input jack, or your output jack, excuse me, right here on the side of the guitar, right angle, straight angle plug, it's all gonna be good. Ultimately, when you put it all together, there's a lot that you can do with it, and we are going to do exactly that. So let's start by listening to some clean tones. I'm going to rifle through all the different pickup sounds, including the split bridge pickup sound, into the Rock Reverb 100 set clean with no effects. And now let's switch over to the dirty channel and check out some distortion. Now that we've heard all the basic sounds, it's time to throw all my favorite pedals into the mix. I'll let you know the combinations on the screen when they come up, and let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds. And that, my friends, is the OZ DSE from Vola Guitars. What can I say about this that I haven't already said? Well, I guess I'll just sum it up this way. It feels exactly like I want a Super Strat to feel, combining a sort of vintage style neck, but with a flat fingerboard radius that allows me to play the modern rock music that I normally create. The electronics were very surprising, although I tend to find myself significantly turning down the tone control. The fact that there's that much play out of these pickups with the tone control means that you could walk into a session with just this guitar and do R&B one day, rock and roll the next day, funk the next day. The possibilities really are quite endless. There is one little quirk about making sure that the tremolo system, the whammy bar system stays in tune. See, even I get mixed up a little bit. And I find this is the case with all non-locking whammy bars. After some heavy abuse, you tend to have to crank up on it and just raise the pitch ever so slightly in order to get the strings back in as close to in tune as possible. That's not a knock against this guitar, and it's not a knock against this particular whammy bar. I find it across all of them, even the normal Fender synchronized tremolos. They are not immune from that problem. Ultimately, Vola is doing something that I was always hoping some guitar company would do, making a high quality, this is a made in Japan guitar by the way, a high quality guitar for a great price with a lot of versatility, but that isn't just doing what everybody else that's done this kind of thing is doing. It looks different than those things, it doesn't play like those other things, it's uniquely Vola. And what more could you want in a guitar company? A guitar company that does their own thing. So big thanks to Greg at Vola for letting me have this guy for a little bit. I am definitely going to miss it, and I would love to know what you guys thought of our look at the OZ DSE. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. And when you see it, make sure you click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we got another Vola demo coming up very, very soon. But if you'd like to see that video before anybody else sees it, as well as see some videos from my archives that I'm not showing publicly on YouTube, and you'll also be able to support the channel so I can keep making this content, Patreon is the place to do it. The link for that is in the description below. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time on the channel, whenever that may be. And until then, my friends, I'm SeanPierceJohnson, wishing you all out there great tone, good health, and happy stomping. Cheers, friends, and God bless.